It is 1:30 in the morning. I was playing League because I was in promos to Plat, which was a hassle just to get to because I was about to get there before when I started saying I was going to get to Diamond. And then I just lost a bunch of games because I got really unlucky. Went down to gold 2, so I was like, okay, I gotta play some carry champs. So I played ADC in top, got myself back up, got myself up there. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna keep playing ADC in top because I'm confident that I can do well on it. And I won the first game. I have no idea who I was playing. I think I was playing a top laner. I don't even know. But top is my secondary right now. Mostly because I don't like getting counterpicked. Because if you get counterpicked in top, it could be very disastrous. Especially if the rest of your lanes are doing shit as well. Because what that ends up doing is that if you get counterpicked in top, your jungler is kind of responsible for camping you, so that way your matchup isn't too bad, or he's responsible for trying to get other lanes ahead. Um, However, that just didn't happen in either of my games. The first game, I played Gameplank because I think the game before I was playing top, but I did really bad, and I was just and I got carried, and I was just like, okay, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. I'm just gonna stick to Gameplank, especially because I had a pick in the first rotation, so I only saw one pick on the enemy team, and I don't even know who it was, but it wasn't their top laner, it wasn't their jungler, so I had no knowledge to go by. It might have been their mid lane. I got no clue. So I'm like, fine, I'll pick Gameplank. And me immediately responds with picking a Pantheon and Hecarim. If you don't play GP, then you won't know that Pantheon is the hardest counter to GP because GP can't use his Q on him without getting just demolished by all of his spells. GP can't do anything, and he's GP is forced to just sit back and just accept the fact that he's not going to get any CS that Pantheon doesn't want him to get. And so that's what happened. And I had a new jungle, which new jungle's great and all right now, but he can't gank at all, which is really bad. So I was stuck being 30 CS down at these pretty much from the start of the game. And it didn't help that they had a Hecarim as well because Hecarim is really good against GP because he can get onto GP before GP can get any damage on. Hecarim can tank the damage that GP can dish out and kill GP before GP has a chance to do anything. He can outrun GP. He just does everything that GP doesn't want to deal with. So Pantheon's already being a huge lane bully to me, and Hecarim can easily kill me. That's not a good combo. And so if they're both in the lane together, because if Hecarim notices like, oh hey, this is a free kill, even though he's got full health and a tower at full health and his ultimate and barrels, this is still a free kill. And that once I show up in lane, he cannot run away from me because if he tries to run away, I'm gonna all Hecarim does is he ghosts, and he catches up to you and you die. And if I try to stay in their tower, they tower dive me and I die. So literally, I'm just sitting top, just hoping that Hecarim does not come top because I cannot ward and keep like my Tribush warded forever, and even then, Tribush is not going to stop a Hecarim with Ghost. And yeah, that was a loss. And it is not fun to be, to just be forced to just sit under tower and just try to get what little scraps of CS that you can. So then so then I decided, like, okay, I'm gonna put down ADC on top again, and hopefully things go better. First rotation again. I was so not wanting to play top. First rotation and still got top. This is the third game in a row I did not get my primary, which is ADC. So I was thinking that wouldn't be too hard to get it because I've been getting it 70% of the time I've been playing ranked with that queued up. So I was really dismayed that I couldn't get ADC for my promos at all. But first rotation, and I'm not feeling it. I'm just like, I don't wanna do this because I know what's gonna happen. I know what's gonna happen. So I'm like, if I could choose a game plank, but if I choose game plank, I can just be countered by another Pantheon, and then that's the end of that. That's the game right there. Unless the jungler constant helps me. Inside. I'm gonna play a tank, and just gonna, just go for the team fights because as a tank, like on GP has really good team fight, but he needs items. Which, by the way, I did tell my team, like, hey, this is a really bad matchup for me. This is not gonna go well. I'm definitely gonna need some help. And Nunu came like once and did nothing. But so I chose Malphite because I'm like, okay, I just want to play a tank. That's game two. I chose Malphite because I was like, I just want to play a tank. I want to play something with CC, something with good team fight that, regardless of what the enemy chooses, I'll still be useful in fights. The enemy chose a Singe, and I'm just like, no. Why a Singe? And the enemy also had Galio and Nunu. Nunu wasn't so bad. The Galio, though, is really bad because if Galio ults and I get stuck in it, then I can't ult, so I can't do anything to stop anything. So that was bad. And the enemy had heavy AP aside from their ADC. So I'm just like, okay, I gotta build MR on Malphite, which it's not bad, but it's not the best thing for Malphite since a lot of his abilities scale off of armor. Um, so I wasn't too happy about that, but of course Singe started just being a bully to me because I can't clear the wave like he can. I can't dish out damage like he can. I don't have any sustain on me at all. So he took, pushed in the wave and just went to proxy. And my Lee Sin jungle did come and help, but what happened was the rest of the lanes were losing, so he had to go to other lanes. And I said this at the beginning. If you're in top lane and you get counterpicked, you need your help with the jungler, or else it's gonna be really bad. And so when Lee Sin was top, we got kills on Singe. When Lee Sin wasn't top, I was struggling to keep the wave off a tower. Oh my god. I was at 56 CS when Singe had 118. It was bad. And it didn't help that the enemy bot lane fed a Draven. So not only did I have to build against the fed Galio, which had no keystone, and rushed a ZZ Rot first item. How do you feed a Galio that's not even rushing damage is beyond me. I had to build against a Galio and a Singe that were both, just getting free farms and just free gold everywhere. So I had to be stacking MR against those, and I had to be stacking that MR first because Singe was in my lane. I also had to build against a Draven who was dealing massive damage, but I just could. By the time I finished Spirit Massage, they were almost running into base, and I just couldn't. I couldn't do nothing. So we lost that because we just couldn't do anything. So I've come to the conclusion that I'm not getting ADC tonight. That's just not happening. There's no way I can get ADC tonight. If I queue up for ADC top again, I'm gonna get top. I'm gonna be forced to first pick again, and I'm gonna have a terrible time because I'm not gonna be able to farm because I'm gonna get counter picked and I'm not gonna be able to do anything. And if I go like ADC mid, I'm gonna get mid, and I'm not strong at mid right now. I think probably my best mid laner is probably Victor or maybe Rise, but Rise isn't good for solo queue right now. And Victor is just he's okay, but I don't really want to play him. So especially if those are my only two picks, I don't really want to. I don't want to play that because Rise will get counter. Rise, yeah, Rise will get countered by a Syndra, which is pretty popular right now. Rise will get countered by a lot of the popular mid lane picks right now, to be honest. He does good against some though, but still in a solo queue environment, Rise is not that good. You need to be on a team to play him well. But so I said, screw it. I'm playing support because if there's a lot of ADCs on, then maybe I'll get a good one. And remember, this is promos. I am 1-2 right now. One win, 2 losses. So if I lose another one, I'm out. So I'm taking a huge risk playing support already. I could have put down ADC support and taken like the 5% chance I could have gotten ADC, but I was just too dismayed. So, of course, I get in queue, get in draft, and I'm first pick. I'm first pick. I don't get to see any champs, and as a support, it kind of hurts a lot because all you get to see is what your team is playing. A lot of times I'll play support. So the supports I'll choose will be based upon what the enemy has picked. If I feel like we need sustain in lane, sustain with some utility. I'll pick Nami. If I feel like all we're going to be doing is sitting back in lane and just farming, and the enemy has assassins and people that want to jump on us and get close onto us, Janna. If this is the only one that doesn't really rely on the enemy. If my team lacks AP, I choose Zyra. But I gotta see nothing. So I decided, hell, I'm gonna go Bard. I haven't played him in a while, but he's kind of, a really good pick of mine. He does the same job that Nami kind of does, but a little bit different. And I was like, okay, I think this will work out well. And I tab out League, let it do its thing. I set up my masteries and whatnot, and I'm just trying to set up music to listen to just take my mind off of the last 2 games. Last 3 games, really. League crashes when it's trying to load in. So I'm like, okay, that's not a big deal. Game hasn't started yet. Restart League. Well, first I tried to reconnect, and that didn't work. Restarted League, Still couldn't connect. Restarted League again in admin mode because I forgot that that's what you're supposed to be doing. Game loads in. Game takes all the time it needs to, like actually fully load in. Gets to 100%. I get into the game immediately. As soon as I get into the game, bug splat. So I'm like, okay, this is probably because my this is probably because my graphics card is just stupid because of Windows 10, and Windows 10 is just clogging it up with shit, and it's screwing over the RAM for it, and it just can't handle it. So I'm like, okay, because it did happen earlier today that like I was playing Paragon and just crashed because the RAM just filled up, and it just was like, yeah, you can't play this right now, and it completely almost shut down the computer. So I shut down everything else, which everything else was Google Chrome, YouTube, YouTube on Google Chrome, playing music. That was everything else. It couldn't. This is fucking the issues with Windows 10, and just my bad luck. But I shut down everything, so I had no music. I had nothing to take my mind off of everything. I finally get back into game. I finally get into lane at 3 minutes in. So I'm behind. But I have a Caitlyn with Warlords, so we can sit back and we should be fine. The enemy has a Vayne who Caitlyn outranges, so it's not the end of the world. It'll be fine. That's what I was thinking. Enemy Shaco comes down. I'm standing too close to a wall. I get pinned against it by a Vayne E, although I didn't think I was close enough to the wall that Vayne would be able to E me onto it. But she did, and we had the river warded too, and Shaco just queued over the wall from the jungle, and I was not prepared for it. But the enemy gave no indication that they were like trying to go in on me to kill me at all. They gave no indication that Shaco was coming. They made no movement to like move up. I was just standing a little too close to the wall, just enough that Vayne could kill me or stun me, and then Shaco just popped out of nowhere, and they had a zillion support, and so I got stunned with that too. And our Caitlyn goes, "That was so obvious, Bard." Like, and she pinged after I was pretty much already dead. That they were that I should back off. I mean, it was my fault that I was standing too close, but you know, I'm not in a good mood right now because last 3 games I was doing shit, and the last 2 of them wasn't really in my control at all. So, and then I had to spend like 5 minutes trying to get the league to work. So I'm not in a good mood at all. And now my ADC is yelling at me. And I'm just like, and I'm fed up with everything, and I'm just like, I can just leave again. I'm fine with losing a game because that's how I feel like this is gonna go at this point, is that it's already a lost game. And Kate gets snarky. Snarky's not a good word, but I can't think of the word I want to use. Bitchy is the best way to put it. Fires back, like, I don't care, do whatever the hell you want and get 9 reports and an auto ban, which I don't get auto banned for going AFK actually. I'm like, but the Ari is like, guys, just chill. And I'm like, and I had no intent of actually leaving the game, or at least not yet, because I don't want to screw over the rest of my team just because I have a shitty ADC that's toxic, which she was shitty. She died over 10 times in the entire game. So I'm back bot, and the Shaco comes back A few minutes later, I try to stun just somebody up with my Q, and I end up just getting the Q just ends up getting stuck in minions. She goes off on me now. Like, oh my god, how could you miss that stun? And it wasn't like it was like there wasn't like I tried hitting it, it just got stuck in minions. And she goes off on me. She's like, you should just quit. I don't want you here anymore. And I'm like, okay. So I'm gonna mute you, and I'm running mid because I'm done. I'm done with this bitch. I'm done with everything, and I don't normally do that where I just say screw it to my ADC, but I was not in a good mood, not at all. And having a shitty ADC that's toxic is the last thing you want when you're in a bad mood. And it's the last thing you just want in general when you're playing support. Because they blame everything on you when it's not always your fault. My death was my deaths are my fault, yeah, but her deaths are her fault. But so I run mid. The Zillion support comes mid. So there's a Vayne Caitlyn bot, which Caitlyn has a huge advantage over Vayne, even though Vayne has like a kill and assist at this point. Caitlyn has the advantage still. She dies again and again and again and again and again. In a 1v1. I'm mid just trying to not rage quit because I really wanted to. I really wanted to just say screw it, I'm done for the night, but I didn't want I know how it feels to be in the 4v5, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna do it, not gonna do it. But it might as well have just been a 4v5. I don't think I mentioned that the enemy picked Shaco and Cannon as their first rotation, and I really wanted to go Janna against Shaco Cannon to just push them off of the team. But like I said, I was first pick. But yeah, Caitlyn got caught out so many times in a 1v1 that we had no hope of winning because she would die so often, and we were stuck in a 4v5 constantly. So yeah, we lost that game. And I lost promos, of course. But now I have to try to get to sleep with all this anger in me, which, that's gonna go well. I'm probably gonna get to sleep at like 3, maybe 4, maybe, and then my alarm's gonna go off at like 7 or 8. I'm not gonna wake up, and then I won't wake up until like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm just gonna be like, cool, this is exactly when I wanted to wake up, and then it's gonna ruin my whole rhythm. So yeah. So what did I learn? Just don't bother playing League. It's not worth the rage. Just don't. League is so frustrating, and it's such a toxic community. But yeah, so I'm tired. This has been a long video about me ranting on about my experience tonight, but it's the reason why there won't be many videos up for League and for like the next few days. Yeah. So yeah. Thanks guys for watching. I hope you understand. And there's like no way I'm gonna hit diamond at this rate. I don't even know if I'm gonna hit plat. I don't know. just feels so futile, and I just feel like it's so hopeless at this point. So yeah.